I'm Cleo Guenther, and I'm manager of our Pantry Partners Food Bank. And just listening to Mary, you shared a lot of what we share in our food bank. It's a mutual care of our people that we serve. We're celebrating our 25th year for Pantry Food Bank. We started out at just meager beginnings in the back of a realty building and then in the old First State Bank building, and then moved to a 110-year-old building at the school. And one time, one of our volunteers had a classmate stop by. He was the head of the State Commerce Department in Helena. My, he said, I think you need some new digs here. So he said, have you ever thought about building a new building? Well, yeah. And so he encouraged us to write for a grant, and we decided we would work on that, which turned out to be quite a journey for us. Knowing that we probably wouldn't get a grant for just our food bank, so we included the clothes closet, asked if they would be interested. Yes, they would rent 1,000 square feet. And the sharing tree that does the Christmas giving for the kids, they needed a storage area. So that's where our journey began. When all was said and done, we had a 10-pound application. You can't imagine the hoops we jumped through. Julie Foster in the development office in Hamilton was our guiding person to walk us through things. And not only 10 pounds, but 9 copies of that had to go in. So then the waiting game began. We were in the top 10, finally the top 2, and then we were selected. In November of 2011, we moved into our wonderful facility on Milburn Fork Road. Walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer, a waiting area, an office finally, and I even have a little bit of a desk by a window where before I had a little desk on a shelf that I could write this way. Anyway, it's wonderful, and our clients just love it. We started out only seeing 5 or 6 families when it first started. Well, now if we don't see 30 families each time we're open, we think we've got a slow day. It's interesting that 48% of the people we see are from 15 to 55 years old. About 22% we see are seniors trying to live on a fixed income. And so it's just a vital part of our community, and you can't imagine the generosity of people. And we're fortunate here because we have towns close by who donate a lot to us, this church included, and many of the churches in town here are all constant donors. We purchase mainly from the Super One grocery store here. I have some buying power with them. And then we order a lot from the Montana Food Bank Network, which I'm sure you're doing the same thing. I want to go back a little bit. I'm kind of losing it. There's so many things I want to tell you that I have to kind of try to keep my mind centered here. We have 35 volunteers or so, and each day we're open Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We man it with 6 or 7 people. We have gleaners for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then on Sunday from the grocery stores here. Even stores give to us that don't even have a part of us. Lolo, they're not in our district, but they are so generous with what they give to us. The Good Food Store in Missoula is a main pickup on Sunday, and that's about 800 pounds of produce and food from their deli. And then Mission 316 is a drop-off place for bread supply. We get that also. That comes tossed in banana boxes, and about 3 of us go in early Monday morning and sort. And then we have a produce stand that looks just like your grocery store. It's wonderful. Not only do the stores donate to that store, the local stores do not give us produce, but they do give us day-old baked goods. But in the summertime, the gardeners around here are so generous. They're coming through our door all the time. And farmers who have eggs, their chickens, and too many eggs to use, they donate a lot of eggs to us. We have a community garden here behind the St. Mary's Catholic Church. They have plots just for their Pantry partners. The Victor Garden Club has a plot just for us. Those gals bring in a couple of times a week, all washed and clean, ready to display in our produce section. I spend about $50,000 on groceries, and people are saying, gee, where does that come from? Well, we write for grants, and we do receive a lot of grants. Also, donors that are faithful $10, $20, $50, $100 a month. Every single month they come in. We even have a few who give $1,000 a month to our food bank. And my buying power is a little bit better than what you can usually do going to the grocery store, but if you want to donate food, that's good too. We have a lot of canned goods. It takes almost 2 of us every time we're open just to keep the donations weighed and stocked and put away each time we're open. The Montana Food Bank Network, we receive foods from them. The truck comes in every 6 weeks, and I'm sure it does at your place too. And that's about 5,000 pounds of food that comes in. Mainly frozen product, hamburger, chicken, turkeys, ham, tater tots, blueberries, walnuts, whatever their commodities are that come to the food banks or Council on Aging, other entities that provide food for others. And that's one of our major suppliers, and I can buy from them as well. And I can buy considerably cheaper than I can buy in the grocery store. I talked about financial donors. That's wonderful. And then another thing that we have that happens a lot here are food drives. Christmas time, of course, is the biggest time of all. The schools all have food drives and compete between their classes. And that's thousands of pounds of food that comes in during the holiday time. The churches all donate, 4-H clubs, Boy Scouts. One little boy who turned 9, instead of having gifts given, he wanted everybody to bring a can of food or money. And he brought in about 40 pounds of food, I'm thinking, I don't know, it seemed like $90. And he brought it into the food bank. I thought that was really extra special. Places that you wouldn't even would think about, as Martin State Hospital, they backed up to our door with the ambulance one day, and I thought, well, we didn't call them. And that shakes up a bunch of old ladies working out here. So they opened up the doors, and on their stretcher was just boxes and boxes of groceries that they had a food drive, and they wheeled the stretcher in, and we unloaded it. And the labs at Hamilton both give generously to us. Super One has a big food drive at Christmas time that families their customers can put out. I think it's $10 or $20 or $30 that they can give, and that goes into a pot. I think I had about $2,200 to spend last year that people donated at Christmas time. And the donations just come steadily from our people who live around here. They take such good care of us. We have a summer program. It's not a full-blown summer program for our kids that are out of school and don't have reduced breakfasts and lunches, but we beef up the boxes: cereal, extra soup, extra cans of fruit, peanut butter, tuna fish, always bread supply. And so anytime people are asking what they should donate this time of year, I encourage them to think about what kids could use. And some of the moms are working, so the kids are on their own, so we try to kind of give them things that they could fix. Summertime, we see people who live under a bridge, don't have cooking facilities, so we kind of figure out a box that we can give them that they can prepare food over a campfire or a Coleman stove or whatever. That's kind of a fun thing we see happen in the summertime. One of our biggest projects we do is a Christmas food box distribution. It's a complete turkey dinner, and last year we filled for 385 families. It's a big undertaking for us, but the community is so supportive. The Cherry Creek Radio always donates turkeys, so when she called me, she said, how many turkeys do you need this year? And I said, well, I got 50 last year. Do you think I'd get more? She said, yes, ask for more. So I said, how about 100? Well, we easily got 100 from them, and then people donated a lot of turkeys. I did still have to buy probably 100 turkeys, but it's a big undertaking. The backcountry horsemen come in, they set up the tables and pack the boxes, and the high school kids come by the busload, and they're the ones that haul things out. It's a big celebration. Santa Claus is there, the newspaper is there. It's a really good PR thing for us, and it lets the community help us do something to help our family. So it's a fun thing for all of us. I talked about food drives and the produce. I did talk about that. One thing that's kind of funny in our building, when we're in the old house, I feel like I'm talking into this thing, it's spinning back at me. In the old 110-year-old house we had, it had a wraparound porch, and we always called, that's where we put the produce, and people could come to visit the porch once a week, but they can come once a month for their box of food. And so that name just carried over. We have this nice alcove for our produce stand. And people say, how do you call this thing the porch? And we always say, well, that's the reason we do it from the old house. It's fun to do that. Another program we have is Hunt for the Hungry. Many families have 4 or 5 family members who hunt. Well, it's way more meat they can use. If they take it to Hamilton Pack or North American Foods, we pay for the cutting and wrapping, and everything is made into hamburger. And we do have a grant to cover some of the processing. So that's a wonderful way to supply meat for our people. And we do have ranchers who donate maybe a half a beef a time or two during the year. Birthday bags, that's a special thing we do too. That comes from the Tops gals, and Alpha Gal, just her optimist. Sometimes grandparents have grandkids don't have a thing to do in the summer, and that's a project they work. Judy and Woody Ensley's granddaughter brought in quite a few last summer. And that's a special thing for our kids 11 and younger, that they can pick out their beautiful birthday bag. We appreciate that so much. The soap project that you gals are doing, it's been a wonderful donation to our people. We do not buy laundry soap out of our food budget. We do supply toilet paper and hand soap, but we don't buy laundry soap, and these gals are putting up that project. Our families appreciate that so much. Thank you for doing that. Let's see, I think that in February, we were down somewhat on our boxes for whatever reason. I think we only filled for 201 families. But I think our average is about 225 families a month that we serve. Now I'm seeing Sue back there. Can you think of anything else that I should be telling these nice people?
You're doing a great job.
Well, it's an endeavor we just love for all of us. And once you are a volunteer there, you just you die of old age. You just stay until you can't lift the boxes anymore. And we love our people, and they become a part of our family. And they're all there for some reason of hard times or loss of job, or it's just and we're their listening posts. They want to talk about things, and we're all good listeners for that. I brought a little display. This is what we would put in a box for a family of 2. They can come once a month for their boxes of food, but they can come once a week for the porch, and that's produce and bread and whatever we have in our cooler for them. They are willing or able to take that. And are there any questions that anybody can? Yes?
I see your bags of rice and so on. Do you get big buckets of rice?
They come in 25-pound bags a lot of times. Yeah, and people don't bring in big bags of rice. We break down everything we can. We break down everything that can be cooked. We try not to break down anything that's a raw food. And the sugar, flour, rice, beans, if they come in a big oatmeal, it comes in a big sack. And in our new building, we were really, really careful and kind of didn't do a lot of that in the old building, but we have a really sanitary kitchen in this new building. So it's we can break down almost everything that comes in. Yes?
2 things I thought of that other communities could do. The U.S. postal carriers have a food drive for you and pick up food.
Yeah.
People just leave it on their mailbox or buy it in a bag, and they pick it all up.
And Hazel, that was in my, thank you. That's right here. And I've even got it on the side here so I wouldn't forget. That's one of our bigger food bag drives is Mother's Day postal food drive. And that's
the other thing I think is wonderful, I think you still do it, they put together foods that would make a meal with a menu to teach people how to do macaroni and cheese, or you've done it with.
Now, many of our young moms don't cook like we cook, but we're always encouraging them to take the dry beans, make a pot of chili. You can make 2 or 3 meals out of a pot of chili, or a can of chili hardly feeds 1 or 2 people usually. So we do encourage people. We get a lot of apples in the fall. We even have a little recipe to teach them how to make applesauce or to cook apples. People just don't, women today, so many of them don't know how to cook. And a lot of them are willing to learn. They just have not ever tried it. It's just been easier to get a box or a can out of the store. But anyway, it's a passion of mine, and we just love what we do, and we feel so blessed to have all those who give to us. Yes?
I wondered if I could mention that your birthday bags come from Beta Sigma Phi, not Serapis.
Well, the Serapis do too, so yes, well thank you.
Forget us, because I'm short.
Yeah, thank you so much. really is a wonderful part of our program. The kids just love it, so I want your heart to know that we really appreciate that. Well, that concludes what I want to say. Thank you. I'm just overwhelmed at how many wonderful women are here today.